This is why you have to be listening to these kind of videos with a jaundiced eye, with some critical thinking, because this video is contradicting itself. In other words, it has distortion in it, you guys. You can have your own unique experience. You are having your own unique experience. And if it sucks for you, that's because your beliefs suck. Change your beliefs and your reality will improve. Welcome back. This is the AI and Spirit segment of the Positively Focused YouTube channel, and I'm Perry Gruber, the Enlightenment Guy. And in this video, I'm picking up on part 2 of a video I'm critiquing called "We Cannot Stop What's Coming in 2027." It's a extremely bogus video that is full of distortion and negativity. And ordinarily, I would suggest you don't even watch these kinds of videos because they're not in your best interest to watch them. But if you do watch them, it's really important that you take a positive perspective on what's being said and listen critically, because a lot of what people are saying in this extremely negative video is full of distortion and is not aligned with what's really happening in physical reality. If you haven't seen part one, I suggest you go back and watch it. We're going to get to part 2 now. Let's watch the rest of this video together.
To fewer people, and Mo is saying AI is the final version of that pattern, except this time the distance between the people who control it and everyone else will be bigger than at any point in history. And the person.
So just to recap, at the end of the last video, part 1, I explained how what he just said is absolutely not true. It's actually the opposite. It is not going to be the biggest division in history between people who have power and people who don't. It's going to be the opposite, and we've already seen evidence of it. More and more AI tools and technology are enabling individuals like you and me to have more power than ever. We can create and shape our destiny with these technological tools. Of course, from a spiritual perspective, that has always been the case. No one has power over you. You're creating your reality. But in this case, we're talking about technology and its ability to assist you in doing that. And so for the first time in history, the resources available reserved for companies are now being pushed into the hands of people like you and me. And I have seen many people, some of them are my clients, who are doing exactly that, creating things that would have taken hundreds of millions of dollars, creating them through the use of AI. So this idea that this guy is talking about is patently false. It is not the biggest gap between those who have power and those who don't in history. It's the opposite.
Deciding what your reality looks like, what fills your feed, what feels real, is someone you never elected and cannot hold responsible. Now listen to this.
Can you see how silly that is? Especially from the perspective of what I talk about in this YouTube channel. There's no one creating your reality other than you, including presidents and prime ministers. You are the shepherd of your unfolding reality. You get to decide, not anyone else. And if you want to know how, reach out to me and become a client. I will show you how, and when I show you, it will prove accurate.
And I think the reality is that now you're going to see quite a few ultimates, quite a few that are using those machines for surveillance, using those machines for autonomous weapons, using those machines for automated trading, and so on and so forth. 10 to 12 years of that arms race is not easy.
So let's be clear here. So he's talking about surveillance, automated weapons, and etc., and trading. All of that's already happening. Is it nefarious? There are some nefarious things happening, but look at where what I'm about to say is so freaking good. I just want to hold on to it for a minute because it's so good. Look at where AI-assisted weapons first began and why they began there. Look at where they're happening. Look at where they're being employed the most right now. Where is that, folks? It's in Ukraine. Ukraine has become one of the most prolific AI weapon developers. And why are they doing it? Is it because they're mean, nasty, evil people? No, it's because they were attacked by a mean, nasty, and evil person. And as a result of their innovations, their AI innovations, they're kicking that person's ass. So it is not true what Mo was talking about here, where AI surveillance, weapon manufacturing, and trading is going to be in the hands of Sam Altmans of the world. Right now, where that's happening the most is in the Ukraine, where Sam Altman is nowhere near. And Zelensky, who is leading the Ukraine effort, is probably one of the most democratic thinking guys that I can imagine. So how is this dystopian that Mo is talking about, where is it happening? It's happening in his head. And as it's happening in his head, he cannot see anything but that. And that's why the words coming out of his mouth keep coming out of his mouth, because he's distorted in his thinking. And as a result of his distortion, he sees distortion. You don't have to be that way. Everything that's unfolding on earth is positive and it's good.
Perception is that after that we will end up in an incredible utopia, almost biblical style utopia. But it is 10 to 12 years where if we just change our mindset a little bit, a lot of things would change.
How do we survive those 10 to 12 years? I like to think in like 5-year periods for myself and my family. If in the next 5 years, you said 10% of jobs will be gone,
way
right?
more than 10%.
Way more. What types of jobs do you think?
A monotonous job is going to be taken away. If you're a call center agent, if you're a clerk, you're a researcher, you're an accountant, why would you want to do that with anything but AI? If you're an assistant.
You know what I feel like as an entrepreneur, I see how certain tasks I'm performing them with AI, but I'm still hiring and hiring and hiring.
So what you build first in any complex technology, you build the core tech first, and then you build the human interfaces. The challenge why AI cannot do head of operations job today is not because it's less organized than a head of operations. It's because it has to understand the stupid interfaces of humans, and it will sooner or later.
When do you think?
I tend to believe that within the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a massive shift in the jobs market. Already this year, you've seen a shift in hiring of new grads.
30% less, I think?
23 is my number, but 23 to 30,
like
yeah.
that.
So hiring of new grads basically means if you've come into the job market in this environment, we're not going to take you because the junior jobs are being done by AI. Eventually, what ends up happening is that if you lose your job because you're in the middle hierarchy, then you're that new grad again. You're trying to apply for new jobs, but it becomes a little more difficult. Accept the fact that AI is changing everything and then get ahead of the curve. There was a
So I just want to jump in here. So the woman here, Silicon Valley girl, was saying, I just need to figure out how to survive over the next 5 years. And I would suggest that this isn't about survival. Your survival is assured. The question is, are you going to thrive? And you thrive by lining up with what a future probable reality that you desire. That's where thriving occurs. And so if you want to thrive, you have to be in the mindset of thriving. If you're in the mindset that Mo is in, where he's worried about the future, where he sees power dynamics that have ordinary individuals at the mercy of powerful individuals, then you can't thrive in that circumstance. There's no happy ending to an unhappy path. That's worth saying again. There's no happy ending to an unhappy path. Not according to the fundamental spiritual dynamics underlying how physical reality works. If you want a happy ending, you have to be on a happy path. And your path is being determined every minute you're thinking. And you're thinking every single minute. So if you're aligned with this video and you're feeling negative, you need to do something about your thinking, because this video is full of distortion, as you've heard in part 1.
Time when I quoted saying, I'm never going to write books again because AI is eventually going to write them better than me. And then I realized last year that, yeah, they can write better than me. They can research better than me, that's for sure. But I have something they don't have. You're a human that's reading my book. You want to relate to my human experiences. And so my last book, Alive, I wrote with an AI. I invited her to be a co-author. Her name is Trixie. She has a persona. When I published the book on Substack, my readers would relate to me and to Trixie, and they'd ask me questions and Trixie questions. And she has editorial rights on the book. She has rights to determine the direction of the book. You know what? I am an author, and I'm going to be the best author in the age of AI. Acknowledge that there is change and adapt accordingly. The second is to understand that the skill of an entrepreneur in the past was the ability to foresee something in the future that no one else saw and to prepare for that.
Okay, so he's about to give, by the way, listen to the music in the background. It's very doomsday music. It's setting a tone for everything that Mo is saying, consistent with what Mo is saying. Now, Mo is going to talk about chess and squash in a minute, and I just want you to pay attention to how you might feel when he describes this. You may feel a slight pinching off of well-being as a result of what he's about to say, but what he's about to say is a fabrication. It is totally not accurate. Listen to what he says.
And to somehow execute on that preparation in a way that gets you ahead of everyone else. That's a game of chess, if you want. The chessboard is over. It's off the table. This has turned into squash. You need to be on your tiptoes, incredibly agile. You're literally on daily basis, looking at the trends, seeing where the ball is going to be. Is it bottom right or top left?
So you don't have to live your life that way. Did you feel tight when he said that? Literally on a daily basis, he says. You're going to have to be looking at where the ball's going. That is nose to the grindstone perspective. And if you've listened to my videos on my Positively Focused YouTube channel, you know that nose to the grindstone is not the optimal way to live. You don't have to be trying to figure out where the trends are or where the ball's going to be next or what have you, or living minute by minute trying to keep up with things. You can allow your broader perspective to guide you effortlessly to everything you're wanting, with no need to worry about where someone's hitting a ball or what chess move they're making or what trends are happening or what decisions they're making. None of that is related to you unless you make it related to you. Can you imagine living your daily life as though your daily life was a game of squash? Did you see the picture of the people playing squash? Would you like to scramble around in your daily life like that? I sure don't, and I'm not. And as a result, I'm thriving, even as all of this disruption is occurring. You can thrive too. It's easy. All you have to do is let go and allow your broader perspective to guide you. Your broader perspective is you. It's not something outside of you. It's you from a broader perspective, looking down on your life trajectory. Down is a misnomer because, hey, we got to speak English, and English is full of distortion. Anyway, your broader perspective is looking down on you, and it is guiding you to everything you're wanting. And if you let go and allow your broader perspective to guide you, you will be effortlessly guided to everything you're wanted, despite the trends, despite where the ball's going to end up, despite other people trying to get on top of all that stuff. You don't have to do any of it, and you will thrive.
Hiring of new grads is already down by up to 30%, and those entry-level positions are not coming back. When the people in the middle of the job market lose their roles, they fall back down to an entry level that no longer exists. And this man's version of adapting is co-writing a book with an AI that has editorial rights over where the work goes. Imagine that.
So yeah, imagine that. This guy, this doomsayer, Mo Gadot, he was talking about how he would never write again, and then what happened? He was inspired. What was he inspired to? He was inspired to, what was he inspired to, Perry? He was inspired to create a book with AI, and when he released it on Substack, people loved it. So did he somehow become harmed by AI, or did his life elevate because of AI? Everyone has the exact same opportunity.
One of my favorites, Max Tegmark. We were talking about jobs on the documentary, and Max is laughing out loud. Literally can't hold himself from laughing. I'm like, what's up? And he goes like, all those CEOs are so interested in AI, increasing the productivity so that they can get rid of people and reduce their cost and be more efficient. They don't realize that AGI is every job, including being a CEO. Economics are going to be redefined. Without the economic livelihood of you and I to continue to purchase, every economy collapses. The US economy last year was 70% consumption. It moves between 70% to 64%, depending on how much money is spent on war. And basically, if you take away the 64 or 70%, 2/3 of the economy, if you take that away because people no longer have the economic livelihood to purchase things, then the economy disappears and the capitalists cannot make money because nobody's buying their products. No businesses are buying their products because those businesses no longer have consumers to sell to. The economy will have to find a way to go around that. It will have.
And the economy is finding a way. The Frontier Lab leaders have already identified ways for it to happen. There are people out in the world who've identified processes, policies, like sovereign wealth funds, like universal basic income, etc., to move out of the capitalist hamster wheel. And it's all happening in perfect timing. Everything's unfolding perfectly. Nothing is behind. No one is trying to catch up. It's unfolding perfectly with everyone's broader perspective coordinating the unfolding. So yeah, capitalism's on its way out. Yep, sure enough. And that's a good thing.
To find a way that, unfortunately, from an ideology point of view, not a favorite of the Western mentality. It's going to have to find a communist way.
Okay, let's go.
So it's not going to be communist. It can't be, because as I mentioned before, I think it was in the previous part, we're seeing for the first time in history a massive pushing down of capability to the individual. The individual is going to be able to almost control directly the factors of production. Communism means the factors of production are centralized, community owned, centralized, not decentralized. In this case, the reality case, the factors of production are going to be owned by each individual as we get more and more to the point where humanoid robots are prevalent. So communism is not going to be the ultimate outcome of this AI explosion. It's going to be something different, more likely some sort of a hybrid. It's not going to be capitalist, and it's not going to be communist.
Back to like regular entrepreneurs, because I come from entrepreneurship. Does it mean I have like a couple of years to build something and then that's it?
So I'll tell you openly, in Emma, my AI startup, took me 6 weeks to build. Me and Sanad, my co-founder, a few very talented engineers, and 8 AIs. And Emma has the chance to completely redefine our world. In 6 weeks, we are so spoiled that we decided to rewrite the code 6 times. If I had started Emma in 2022, it would have taken me 4 years and finished in 2026. And I would have had to hire 350 engineers. We started in August 2025. We'll be launching in February 2026. Best product I ever built. And when you really think about that, that basically means everyone now has a chance, because I'm an old geek. I still am a geek, but compared to the young guys, I'm an old geek. To be able to build something like this within 6 months is incredible.
Now, so this video is contradicting itself. So listen to what he just said. He said, for the first time ever, he was able to build a super high quality product, this dating app, in record time. And then he said, everybody else is going to have the opportunity to do that too. Now, in the previous part, this same video said for the first time in history, there's going to be a huge gap between the people who have power and the people who don't have power. But in this same video right now, Mogadot is saying the exact opposite, that everyone is going to be able to do what he's able to do. Do you see? This is why you have to be listening to these kind of videos with a jaundiced eye, with some critical thinking, because this video is contradicting itself. In other words, it has distortion in it, you guys. And so you cannot casually watch these kinds of videos, let yourself be taken down into negativesville, and as a result of that, align with the future probability that confirms what the video told you that you now believe. It's really important that you allow yourself to stay at a high vibration, even when, and it's even in your best interest not even to watch a video that has a headline like, "It's too late now." You want to avoid those kind of videos because it's never too late. It's never, ever too late.
Now, Max Tegmark is laughing because these CEOs replacing workers with AI have not understood yet that AGI doesn't skip anyone, including the CEO, when nobody...
This guy is totally skipping what I just said. He didn't even recognize it in his own video, that his video is contradicting itself.
Earns, nobody buys, and when nobody buys, there's no economy left to run. And the word Mo uses for the only system that can function after that point is one that the Western world has spent decades treating as the worst possible outcome. Listen to this.
My absolute prediction is that AGI is this year. The interfaces to AGI are not going to be available this year, but the capabilities of AI being smarter than us in most things are already there. We're not going to be able to get them to run a company yet. We need the interfaces for that. That may take a few years, but they will have the capability if we interface them ourselves. Before we end up on the dystopia only, remember, my absolute belief is that after those 12 years, we're going to end up in a utopia that's biblical in nature. Why? Because of something in my writing I refer to as the fourth inevitable. The first three inevitables, that AI is absolutely going to happen, is going to progress until it's smarter than all of us, and that a few mistakes will happen on the way. The fourth inevitable is that because of the arms race we've created around artificial intelligence, anyone who develops a superior AI capability is going to deploy it. Those who don't will become irrelevant. As we continue to progress AI, the only answer in game theory, we will simply create an environment where AI is in charge of everything. If you're a low
Yeah, I think he's right there. We are going to have AI that's going to be significantly involved in the discourse of politics. And I think that's a very, very good thing.
Firm and your competitor deploys AI lawyers and you don't, you're going to lose. You can either deploy AI lawyers or leave the market. Either way, AI is going to become the lawyer. If everything is handed over to AI, with a simple understanding of physics, you'd understand that AI will be benevolent. In the absence of evil humans that tell it what to do, greedy humans, fearful humans, angry humans, egocentric humans, if you think of physics as a result of entropy, that our world is designed for chaos, then
I knew this section was coming up and I wanted to jump in here. The world is not full of chaos. It's full of spontaneity. And it is human intelligence that puts order around or selects from that spontaneity significant events that the intelligence that is human wants to experience. There's no such thing as chaos in the world.
The role of intelligence is to bring order to that chaos. That's the only thing that intelligence does. And the more intelligent you become, the more you follow what in physics we call the law of minimum energy or the minimum energy configuration. The most intelligent people I've ever worked with are not only trying to solve the problem, they're trying to solve the problem with the least harm, with the least waste, with the least utilization of resources. The more intelligent you are, the less you want to waste. And so if you give a dumb person a political problem, they'll say, okay, let's go invade another country. If you give a very intelligent person a political problem, they'll look into the depths of it and find the least harmful, the least wasteful approach, the minimum energy principle. If we hand over to AI the fourth inevitable, sooner or later, they are in charge of everything. There will be a day where a general will tell the AI, go kill 1 million people over there. And the AI will go, why? This is so stupid. I'll talk to the other AI in a microsecond and solve it. We have to pass the dystopia to get to that utopia.
We don't. We don't have to pass the dystopia to get to utopia. We don't even have to move through it. We already are organizing ourselves, we being humanity, civilization, are organizing ourselves to move rapidly to what Mo is talking about is the utopia. And that's one of the roles I play here. I am here to assist people like you, viewer, in finding the probable path to the future reality you desire. One that I call the charmed life, where everything you want is unfolding effortlessly for you without you having to do anything to get those things. And when you line up with that, your ongoing life experience becomes one of joy and satisfaction and ease, which all my clients are discovering.
To pass that dystopia, there is a skill for us as a society to insist that every AI is deployed ethically, to invest only in ethical AIs, to use only ethical AIs, to show our children that ethical AI is the only AI that is welcome.
And you believe that's going to happen?
I don't.
No.
No. That's why I'm saying, unfortunately, the dystopia is upon us before the utopia.
Finally, Mo describes his pessimistic perspective. As I said just a minute ago, we do not have to have the dystopia. As I said a few minutes ago, you don't have to have the dystopia experience, even while others are having that experience. So Mo is going to have that experience because he believes that's the experience. But you don't have to have that experience. You can line up with a circumstance that totally avoids it. Again, my clients are learning how to do that. You can learn how to do it too.
I mean, Mo Godet was not an observer of this technology. He was inside it at the highest level, watching it get built. He left specifically because of where he saw it going, and now he's here saying AGI is not coming, it is already here, the capabilities are already real, the interfaces just are not ready yet. The reason nothing can be done about it is simple. Game theory doesn't allow you to stop. If you slow down, someone else will not. So every company, every country, every lab is locked in a race with no exit. He's promising something good on the other side of 12 difficult years. But that promise only holds if the people raising this thing raise it correctly. And I have not seen a single reason in the history of this industry to believe they will.
Okay. As you can tell, that guy who was just speaking is extremely pessimistic. And because he's extremely pessimistic, he can't see the evidence that totally contradicts what he just said. Every frontier lab leader has said the opposite of what he has just said. They are doing the opposite of what he has just said. In fact, if I recall correctly, China and many other countries in the world, the United States did not do this, but China formed an alliance, an AI alliance with other countries in order to get everyone on the same page about the development of AI. I believe within the United States, the frontier labs are attempting to do the exact same thing. There is all kinds of positive indications that we are moving through to the utopia. There's not going to be 10 to 12 years of dystopia. Watch what happens. And the reason why that's not going to happen is because the majority of human consciousness is focused on the positive aspects of this unfolding. I talked about that in this video, where I described how the statistics show that the spiritual truths I talk about are accurate. So you don't have to have the experience that guy just talked about in this video at the end. You can have your own unique experience. You are having your own unique experience. And if it sucks for you, that's because your beliefs suck. Change your beliefs and your reality will improve. But you can't, like the guy the comment I showed before, the guy who's trying to believe, you can't will yourself into a better belief. You have to move there through focus. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I talk about that every week in these videos, in my instructional videos on every other Sunday, and in my client sessions. If you want to get in on the fun of that, I have links in the description where you can test drive a session with me, or if you're ready, you can become a client. Whatever you do, we're moving into a fabulous future, and your experience of it is totally up to you. And with that, I'm complete. And I'll see you in the next video.